I will say that I'm not into necrophilia.
No, don't
I'll,
bring,
I'll, shout,
bring
I'll
up that
shout that from the
subject.
rooftops. Welcome to Tairimo Boys Podcast. I'm your host, Cody. With me in second chair is the boy who could tell you a story or two about Thomas Jefferson and Bigfoot. It's Jeremy.
Why, I sure can.
With me in third chair is the boy who's a master historian in Presidents versus Monsters. It's Ryan.
Going on?
Okay, that's more believable for Ryan.
Ryan, you need to get a better hobby. Today, we're continuing with Tairimoween with a well-known meme movie called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Kids, you may not know this movie exists, but yep, it totally does. So, Jeremy, when you hear Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, what do you think of?
I'm in for a really, really good time. That's what I thought.
Hollywood being out of ideas.
Are they out of ideas, or are they being very creative with the ideas they have?
They're scraping the bottom of the barrel. At least that's what I thought. That's what I thought first time this movie came out. First time I heard this movie. Happy to say I was wrong.
I didn't watch this movie because I was like, nope, not going to happen. I was also wrong.
I saw the review of this movie. Well, the IMDb reviews, and it's sitting at like around a 5.
Is it?
Yeah,
5.9. There you go, close enough.
but usually when you get around 5.9, it's considered a bad movie. So I went and did some digging, and people either enjoyed this movie or they read the novel and they hate the movie.
So which one are we, boys? Also, let's clarify this right now. Is it unanimous that we all have never seen this movie? I have
I've
never
it
seen this
before.
movie. Okay. How long ago, to be fair?
The year it came out, 2012.
Yep, 2012. Okay, Cody, you?
Nope, never seen it.
All right.
So it looks like Ryan's the odd boy out here. And you know what? I'm surprised this didn't spawn a whole genre of like really goofy movies.
I wish it did. The way they ended it got me so pumped.
But we'll talk about that. So, Jeremy, first thoughts other than the stuff you've already said?
First thoughts. So starting off, I was going in with very little expectations. After all, I heard the name Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I was like, how good could this really be? They opened with a scripture. I said, oh, here we go. This is already bad. Then the opening fight, I was like, this is what type of movie we're getting into. But they clarified it later, and it made it so much better for me.
Fair enough. Ryan?
I was very impressed that the filmmakers took the time to make this historically accurate. Right down to the teeth.
Right down to the teeth.
Also really enjoyed the movie. I didn't think I would, because I'm freaking wuss when it comes to horror. But I powered through it.
There was one
You know,
jump
it's-
scare.
Yeah, there's like maybe
Yeah.
like 1, 2 jump scares, but it's
One in the
over.
beginning.
Overall, it's like maybe it's an action movie.
Vampire
Yeah.
foo, if you will. We're coining that term, by the way. Vampire foo.
I will slap it on a mug. As for me, I was kind of expecting a B-list boys movie with this. Maybe, well, I know it's got like a huge budget. It set between like 69 and 99.5 million. So maybe not B-list, but like maybe something that was like so corny it was okay.
And is that what you got, Cody?
I was impressed. But here's the thing. After watching Beetlejuice, and Joker, Folly and Dex in theaters,
Holy I do.
I'm not the one muttering in French, but like I said, I'm American. But like after seeing that crap, this movie was just such a relief.
It's a palate cleanser, if you will.
Cleanser your freaking skull
Mm-hmm.
with an axe.
And a couple musket balls.
Right to the eye sockets.
I want to start axe twirling now.
I know, it looks so cool.
You know that theater I always go to, Ryan?
Yeah.
That there used to be like a throwing axe place like right next to it. We should have really gone
Damn.
like years ago.
You should have gone.
Yeah.
Oh, we got those places
Yep.
all over here.
Oh, Jeremy, when I come to visit.
Absolutely. I've got several bars that are axe throwing places that we can go to.
That sounds safe.
Absolutely not, but it's fun.
Absolutely.
Drunk people and axes. But anyways, speaking of drunk people, the whole idea behind this movie is it's alternate history if you can't tell, but Abraham Lincoln's like
What?
yeah.
I
I thought it was accurate.
Very inaccurate. And we'll get into some of the stuff whenever we start talking about slavery. I'll have to discuss how inaccurate that stuff is. But alternate history: Abraham Lincoln. He watches his mom get killed by a vampire. Eventually, his dad passes, and he ends up meeting with a mysterious stranger, and ends up going on to learn vampire foo and trademark Tairimo boys.
Okay, also that part, the training sequence also concerned me. So I was concerned for the very first few scenes. I was like, oh my goodness, what have I gotten into? Am I going to be able to sit through this? But
Um,
shortly after that, it's rectified.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's kind of an origin story of alt history, Abraham Lincoln, but it's preachy. That's the problem. But
Hmm.
we'll get into that.
Don't throw no scriptures at me.
But majority of the movie, you get some statesmanship, but overall, it's probably more vampire hunting than anything else. And we get a lot of vampire hunting.
Yes,
Well,
we do.
we also get a lot of horses too.
Oh, don't get me started on that fucking scene.
Is that not gonna be your favorite scene, Jeremy?
That's it's very, very close.
Well, for the people at home, there's like a scene that like there's like a huge stampede of horses, and Lincoln's fighting the vampire that
Killed his mother.
killed his mom in the stampede. And there's
That's
just
such
so
a long scene.
there's so many damn horses. And here's a little fun fact about that scene: there was only supposed to be 16 horses, but some employee in the animation studio, he was told there's supposed to be 1.6 million, and he accidentally put 1.6 million horses.
You could definitely tell there was probably 1.6 million horses. God, that was a wild scene.
But SpongeBob always says mistakes and miracles.
Hmm. It worked.
So, boys, what did we think of all the vampire fighting?
That's what I'm here for. You boys know I have ADD, so the more like political stuff didn't keep my attention as much. I found myself scrolling through my phone. But all the vampire foo and the vampire hunting is what I signed up for.
Ryan?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That was my jam.
All the fight scenes of this movie are just so good.
Can't disagree with it.
Yeah, but we gotta be complainy boys, so.
Oh yeah, it's what we do.
Okay, so I want to complain about the silver thing. So in the movie, vampires have a weakness to silver. If you're unfamiliar with history, or I guess mythology, the reason vampires can't see themselves in mirrors is because mirrors used to be made out of silver. Now, the thing in the movie is, like, what is silver actually really doing? Because there's times where Abraham Lincoln's, like, cutting off vampires' heads with, like, train doors and, like, bank
Yeah, that
shelves.
bothered me too. I was like, what the hell? Thought you couldn't kill these things without silver.
Oh, even at one point, like Henry's got like I guess it's a regular knife and kills one.
It's very inconsistent with how you can kill a vampire in this movie.
The rules are inconsistent throughout the whole damn movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't think too much about it. We're watching a
Exactly.
movie about Abraham Lincoln and vampires. So.
Just don't think. Shut your brain off. Shut your goddamn brains off.
But that leads into my next question. Boys, what was our favorite vampire kill?
I'm gonna steal it from Ryan, the comeuppance at the end.
Yep. Yep. That's what I was gonna say.
Yep.
Go with the basic bitch answer.
It was a great scene.
It was, but why did you boys get creative? So,
Well, I mean, he killed so many vampires in creative ways. I don't even know how I could say what was my favorite.
well, I'll go out here and do it then.
Okay, hold the fort down.
My favorite was like whenever he starts vampire hunting and he's fighting like that blacksmith vampire.
No, don't knife. He drops it from his mouth. Do not say that.
Yeah,
God damn it.
throws him into like the fire pit. He's in there stomping the bellow. And the fire's just burning him.
Oh, that wasn't the one where he was tied up. I was thinking of the medicine guy, the first one that he went to fight.
Oh, the prescription.
The prescription guy. That was okay. You want to get creative? That's as creative as it gets when he drops the knife, catches it. Well, he catches it in his mouth and slits the vampire's mouth with it.
Yep. Well, I mean,
Okay, there you go.
You gotta give some props to that vampire where he had like at his little prescription glasses workbench. He's got a trap door sitting there where if someone falls in, they get hung up by their legs, and he was thinking ahead.
Yeah, that's a wild scene. There, see, I got creative.
Ryan, you want to get creative?
Oh,
Okay. How about we get some of the creative juices going? Let's have some Boo Bonanza.
There we go. I knew this was coming.
Well, you watched the movie, and you gotta obviously see it this time. So,
Oh yeah. It was very obvious. Trust me,
And
I was looking.
so, whenever Lincoln goes to get revenge the first time against the vampire that killed his mom, whenever he has to hide in a shed at one point, and there's like a dead naked lady with her boobs out.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, what do we think about those boobs?
10 out of 10 dead boobs.
10 out of 10, but I feel a little weird like Quagmire.
I did feel awkward saying that. Like,
Okay, so I'm not into necrophilia, but
God damn it, don't say that.
I will say that I'm not into necrophilia.
No, don't
I'll,
bring,
I'll, shout,
bring
I'll
up
shout
that
that from the
subject.
rooftops. That was an actress who was alive, and she had really nice boobs.
Exactly, and that's what we're referring to, not the necrophilia part. So,
Oh yeah, that just needs to be thrown into the ground.
hmm but 10 out of 10 dead actress boobs.
Yep, that's another boobonanza.
That one brought a tear to my eye.
First thing I thought when I saw that was, oh shit.
I wasn't even expecting boobs in the movie.
I wasn't either. It caught me off guard, and it happened so quick. I was like, "There we go." It's been a while since we had a boob bonanza.
It's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks too long. I need
Last
titties.
time we had a penis palooza.
Oh no! Nope, nope, nope.
Everyone gets a little bit of enjoyment out of the Terrible Boys podcast, no matter your sexual orientation. So, boys, next question. What did we think about the characters in this movie?
I loved Lincoln. You know what? I loved all the characters. Lincoln, obviously, my favorite. Good villain. Really liked solid villain. Yeah, yeah,
I thought the villain was like a little generic, but it
yeah.
worked.
Wasn't expecting much in a film called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Good
I
point.
mean, we all went into this with low expectations, and here we are, just having a lot of fun. I mean, it's a Terrible Boys certified fun movie.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt in that.
Anyway, Jeremy, your thoughts?
I love the cast. Great characters, with Henry being my favorite.
I did love Henry. Did you see the twist coming?
That he was the vampire?
Yeah.
No. So that brings me back to where I had concern. So when he showed up to save Abraham from the vampire that killed his mother, and like he just starts doing this like superhuman shit, I was like, "What have I gotten into? I'm gonna hate this fucking movie. You're just powerful just because you will it into existence." That twist fixed this movie for me in a big way.
The whole vampires can't hurt vampires thing was just so inconsistent throughout the movie.
Well, they could hurt each other, they just couldn't kill each other,
Well,
is what they said.
hurting leads to killing.
If you get a boo boo, are you gonna die from a boo boo?
I can get infected and die.
Oh my god.
I get a boo boo on my neck and all my blood sprays out.
All right, Cody, what'd you think of the cast?
Well, hold on. Before that, I did see the twist coming. Mostly because there's that scene whenever Lincoln wakes up after failing to kill the vampire that killed his mom, and like after Henry pours some of that wine, Doctor Evil quotation marks, Lincoln smells. He's like, "Ooh, this smells disgusting." Kind of hints it's blood.
Ah, all right, good catch.
So kind of saw that coming a mile away. He did love his horrors though.
Who doesn't?
But yeah, the characters in this movie are like really fun. The horrors, especially
Mm-hmm.
horror-ish. What's not to love?
You think Benjamin Walker approached the role like Daniel Day-Lewis?
Here's the thing about Benjamin Walker. He actually learned like all that like axe twirling stuff for the movie.
Really getting into character, I see. Well, it worked.
So boys, before I start shitting all over the movie, let's talk about our favorite scene. Jeremy, go ahead.
That's really tough. That's gonna go between the stampede and the train scene at the end. Well, close to the end.
Yeah, pretty much the final fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I read online that the train scene might have been like a season finale to like Thomas the Tank Engine, like an episode of that. I don't know if that's true or not, but there you go.
That's so dark for a Thomas the Tank Engine story.
Well, I think there's
Why?
probably less vampires and people dying than.
My favorite scene was when he freed the slaves. I'm such a good person. The train sequence.
Yeah, the train sequence is mine too. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's so fast paced and vampires coming all over the place. And
And the action is, whew, it's up there. It's definitely my favorite fights.
It's always been a dream of mine to get in an over-the-top fight on a train.
You and me both.
Ryan, you'd end up like the Nazi doctor in Dial of Destiny, but your head would just get pulped instead of just the completely nothing.
Thud.
All right, Cody, shit away.
I mean, that's what I said.
You know, I was waiting for this.
All right.
I'm gonna pretend like I heard your knuckles crack.
All right, boys. All right, time to address the elephant in the room. Slavery.
Slavery's bad.
Yep. All right, moving on. Yeah, so the movie is extremely preachy about slavery. Like, yeah, we all know slavery's bad, but we know it's alternate history, but people might get the wrong idea about Abraham Lincoln when it comes to this movie. So, Lincoln really didn't care about slavery from what I've read. Originally, after the Civil War, his plan was to send all slaves back to Africa, but a few African American, but I guess they were politicians, convinced him otherwise. He was more focused on just trying to keep the United States together. Now, are you boys familiar with the epic holiday Juneteenth?
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sorry, people at home. Here's your spoiler. Juneteenth is made up bullshit. During the Civil War, Maryland, I think it was Maryland, but it was Maryland, maybe Maryland, and it was definitely Missouri. Lincoln had to negotiate heavily with them to get them to stay in the Union. And one of the caveats was they'd be able to keep their slaves after the Civil War. Because here's the thing: if it was Maryland, well, Maryland's like right at DC's door, and even if it wasn't, it was another one of the northeastern colonies. But I'm pretty sure it's Maryland. But you can imagine if they turned on the Union, then there would have been an instant army at Lincoln's front door. So the caveat was, like I said, they'd be able to keep their slaves. So the whole Juneteenth thing was supposed to be whenever Texas received the message that no more slavery. Well, Missouri and Maryland still had slaves after that for a while. So happy Juneteenth, everyone.
My mind is blown.
Yeah, Juneteenth only exists because the government wanted another holiday and virtue signal. No one had ever heard of this thing before like a decade ago. Look up the Google search trends on it. Sorry for ruining the movie for everyone at home.
God damn it, Cody, you asshole.
Next thing we need to talk about the usual novel's better than the book.
I didn't even know there was a novel to this.
Yeah, I didn't know before I started doing research for this movie. But like I said, IMDb, if you look at most of the negative reviews, it's people who've read the novel. Some of the main complaints
Better than the Martian novel.
I have no idea. I didn't read the novel myself. I literally saw the movie yesterday, so I really didn't have time to delve into a book. But some of the stuff I've read was pretty much the whole movie gets changed after Lincoln's mom dies. Apparently,
Changed from the book?
yep.
Oh shit.
People were saying that movie Henry is like really pussy whipped, and in the book he wanted to free the slaves, and they cut out Edgar Allan Poe.
How dare they?
Also, they changed the ending. So before we go any further, I've got to ask the question, boys: do we think John Wilkes Booth was a vampire?
Yes. I'm going with it.
Ryan?
This universe, wouldn't doubt it.
I like that. That's gonna be my headcanon. Just a
Yeah,
vampire
wouldn't it be
win.
cool if like they continued the series and like John Wilkes Booth is still alive and he's the main villain of the next one? Henry has to train the next vampire killer to take down John Wilkes Booth. Be awesome.
That would have to be a movie because the novel ends differently.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That part two.
Yeah, but in the novel, apparently Lincoln does become a vampire whenever Henry offers it at the end, and the novel apparently ends like around JFK's presidency, and Lincoln's still hunting vampires.
I mean, that's kind of cool too. But I like my idea.
Yeah, we'd like to see more Lincoln hunting vampires. I don't know if Edgar Allan Poe survived though. Now we've got an action movie, and of course, the action movies we've got to have some boys in action.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Jeremy, if you were Abraham Lincoln, where would you die in this movie?
When he was a kid and he saw his mom getting bit and he got that jump scare, I would have died right there. Heart attack. Over. No, I would have made it to the end. But I'm not as athletic as Abraham or Will jumping the train when it was like falling to pieces on the bridge. So I wouldn't have made the jump.
Fair enough. Ryan?
The theater. I make it to the end.
So you make it to the theater?
Yeah.
Okay. Shot in the head by John Wilkes Booth. Okay.
What about you, Cody?
I think I would have died in the shed with the booby lady. In the scene, Lincoln drops his musket ball. Well, the gun misfires and drops his musket ball and he's trying to reload. I wouldn't be able to reload that thing. That bastard would have gotten me.
Fair enough. and very realistic.
Have the other boys in action. So, Jeremy, pass the topic on to you.
I have the most important question of the movie, boys. Mary Lincoln or Vadoma?
Hmm.
But Doma
Mm-hmm.
was the like vampire chick, right?
Yep, the hot one.
I bet she fucked like a chipmunk.
Yep.
Apparently, the real Mary Todd was like really like psychotic in real life.
Those can be fun too.
I'd say don't stick your dick in crazy, but it's either
You know, I'm
crazy or
not gonna stop.
crazy.
Yep, I'll take my chances.
I'll take the chipmunk vampire.
Fair enough. Ryan, who you got?
Also, Vidoma. I really like that actress, although she won't return any of my calls.
All right, both
I
at the
guess.
same time. That's what I'm going with. No, I'm just kidding. Vadoma, she's a freak. I can already tell. I like him crazy.
One weakness.
Yeah, we know from the divorce.
That was different. That was more like mental psychotic case. Like need to be in an insane asylum. This is like crazy. Will slit your throat at night, but that's fine.
Very
It's
Harley
a better
Quinn.
crazy. Definitely not a Harley Quinn.
Ryan, pass the topic on to you.
What'd you think of grown-up Lincoln's giant ears? I realized he wasn't born here, but in Hyrule.
Didn't the real Lincoln have like really big ears?
Probably.
That would be a sight to see. Can hear everything. That's why he was so good at killing vampires. He could hear him breathing.
I do have to mention too. I did like whenever you have that scene with the invisible vampire. I think it was the one in the bank where he's like throwing like gravel all over the place and he's got to follow like the air particles.
That was a really cool scene. Or was it his ears? He was just listening to everything. He was listening to the gravel pieces, just the little particles bounce off the vampire. Oh, wait, I got something else. Have either of you boys ever seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I never
Hmm.
really liked the show.
No. How was it seeing a Speed, Jimmy Simpson?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
He was
was
also
so
in.
weird for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. First thing I ever saw him in was House. So that's what I always associate him with.
I always associate him with Always Sunny, and these characters are two completely different things. Viewers at home, you'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen it.
All right, Jeremy, final thoughts?
I actually really enjoyed this movie. Again, ADD, so some of the more historic moments are the political stuff. Yeah, I found myself scrolling a bit, but for the rest of this movie, I loved it.
Ryan, final thoughts?
I loved it. It's really fun. And I can't wait for the reboot of this movie where they include the scene of him going to the theater. And instead of John Wilkes Booth shooting him, it's just Mary that shoots him. Death to the patriarchy! Blam!
As I've said the whole movie, this movie's like Tairimo Boys certified fun. You get Abraham Lincoln, you get all this really good vampire hunting. Whenever I first read the reviews of the movie, I thought I was going to be disappointed. And the first few minutes of the movie are kind of slow and preachy, but afterwards it quickly picks up.
You have to go into it with according expectations. Like, is this movie cheesy? Yeah. Is it over the top? Yeah. Do we get boobs? Yeah. Is it B list? Not quite. It had a big budget, but just have your expectations accordingly.
Yep. So, Jeremy, with those expectations, it's time to scale it.
Ooh.
So, today we've got the Marvel Vampire Scale.
Okay. Morbius obviously at the bottom.
You know it.
Yep.
So, Jeremy, on a scale of the Wesley Snipes Blade movies and not Blade 3 to Morbius, where would you rank this?
Oh, you son of a bitch. I have to put a few smidgens underneath the Blade movies.
Fair enough. Ryan?
There's only one blade. There's only ever going to be one blade.
Which was confirmed.
Um, so I'm going to put it also a few smidges below blade.
Yep, I'll agree with these boys. I absolutely love the Blade movies. Go back and watch our Deadpool versus Wolverine review to hear us talk about that. But like I said, this is a movie's a hell of a lot better than like Beetlejuice or Joker 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely above those two on the scale.
As it should be.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of Terrible Voice Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, telling us how you would fight vampires, and don't forget to ring the motherfucking bell. Stay tuned for more episodes. Stay tuned for more Tairimoween.